Hi, it's Anne from the Useless Crafter for 12 by 12 Cardstock Shop. So today we're going to be doing a fun cake topper shaker. The theme is underwater-ish. It's really based on an axolotl. I had never heard of it. First of all, I needed to Google it. I didn't even know SVG files existed for this thing, but it's this little guy right here. So anyway, we're going to be doing that, and I feel like the underwater theme can be used for so many different things. So, just keep that in mind that it could be a scrapbook page, it could be a card, cupcake topper, cake topper, banner, all that stuff. So that's the underwater theme, but shakers, same thing. I feel like I'm seeing them everywhere. So, I do them in a Pringles can. So as party favors, we've done that together, I believe. But, also cake toppers, cupcake toppers, same deal. So I'm going to show you the easy way that I do a shaker. So it's a lot of fun stuff here. So let's get started. So you can kind of see, I always do this. I cut everything out and I kind of place it to make sure that, do I need to change out some colors? So you'll see, I made some changes over here. Originally, I think I opted for more pink because I like to keep, a consistent color scheme going on. So I don't want to add too many colors, but I think the pink and purple are almost one color. So I added that. I wanted the gold to pop out against the blue, the different blues, and then of course the white. So you can see I have recut this a few times because at first I wanted the axolotl to be, like shimmery and cute. So I'm holding it like this. I know you can barely see it because like this, you can't see it at all. But this was too much glitter and it was like it's almost like blinding in the sun kind of thing. So I opted for a more regular, a more vanilla cardstock in my eyes, but it turned out so much better with the pink. And then I had to switch out this banner. Originally I did it in the blue and it just kind of all mixed in there. So I added another color, but I feel like it's a mix between the purple and the pink that are on here, and only a sliver of the banner is going to show. So it's kind of like no matter how hard I try to plan out the colors, I always feel like you don't know until it's cut and you put everything there, because I pull papers beforehand. Everything always looks good. It's like, oh yeah, that color scheme is great. So the other thing was I switched out the outline of the name. Felt like the blue made it too chunky, so I decreased the offset size, and also I felt like the blue kind of just mixed in there. So that's kind of like, I wanted to show you, as good as your intentions may be and however prepared you may think you are, sometimes you just don't know until you cut it all out. So these are my extras, and this one I feel like is a bit much as well, but I think I'm gonna try to put this like seaweed all the way in the back where it's just peeking through, so it gives just a pop of color and into the theme, but not too much. So that's, we'll figure it all out. Now the big thing about this whole thing is you can see there's a lot of layers, and even with a lot of layers, if you don't do anything with it, it will still be really flat like it is right now. So my thing is, I do love my layers, and so we're going to be using a lot of foam tape. And I just realized I made sure that I had everything, but I forgot to get my foam tape. So give me 1 second to pull that out. I have it right here. I tried to be so prepared because I feel like every time I do a video for you guys, I'm caught like without something. But here's the foam tape. All right. So you've got your foam tape. I also like my Tombow permanent adhesive tape. And this is going to be perfect for this right here. This little guy is so thin. So you can see, and it cut beautifully. This gold foil I absolutely love. I don't know, I think it's kind of hard to see against that. So let me pull this over. So you can see the little swishes before the J and at the end with the E. It is so thin, so beautiful, but it cut. That's the main thing. So on this one, you can either use, I also like my Barely Art glue, which I believe If it's not on the website yet, it should be coming soon. So you can use whichever one you want. I think for this one, because it's so thin, I'm actually going to use the Barely Art glue. So, all right, so let's do that one first. All we're going to do right now is we're going to add the foam tape to everything, to all the bubbles. So all the bubbles, all of them have an offset. So there's another layer. I'm going to put it down below. And so we're going to make sure that everything kind of pops up. That's what we're doing at the beginning. And then we're going to start piecing it together when we're done with that. So let's get some scratch paper. All right, so I'm going to have that just in case we need it. All right, so here's the glue. This is for Jackie. And I'm just going to make sure that it, you know, the glue, and not a lot. This is the precision tip, which I love. And we want to get just enough. We don't want it to kind of like bleed onto our gold, this other gold paper that's on there. And I love using the same color but in different textures, because I feel like that's where we can get the variety but then still have a very cohesive look. So I did the gold foil with this gold paper, and this is one of my favorite gold papers. I need to order more actually, because I know I'm going to be using it a lot. It's got this texture to it. Ooh, did you see how blinding that was? This is so beautiful in person. I can't even start to explain it. But the back layer is also super, super cute. It's got like, I don't know, it just has texture to it. So like little lines crossing both ways. All right, I am looking for, okay, this little guy. So this is kind of like a silicone tip, so it can pick up things. So it picked up my little heart, and I'm gonna put, oh no, it came off. Okay, putting on a little bit of glue, try to stick it back on. Ah, it's sticking to my fingernail. All right, that's not gonna work. I'm gonna just put it down. Okay. My other one will work better. Give me one, of course. Okay. This little guy has like putty at the end, so this one's a little bit easier to use. All right, I'm gonna pick up my heart, put a little bit of glue down. Okay, so that's done. We can flip this over and, you know, start adding our foam squares, or foam tape. And this one's easy, you know, like we don't need to put foam tape on the ends, but where you can put foam tape, let's do that so that it pops up evenly and it's got staying power because it's got a lot of tape. Okay, and we'll leave that on until we're ready to peel off, but I really want to push it down to activate the stickiness. So that's always with adhesive. You want to make sure that it's down there. All right, so this is ready to go. Let's look at our bubbles. So here are our bubbles. Let's put a couple of these on. And these will peel off because we can tape it right onto the offset. And I am using just a bunch of basil paper. It's one of my favorites because of all the color options, and also it's got the texture. So I'm trying to see if you can see it on here. But you know, I don't like the plain paper. I know everything has its own purpose, so I'm sure there's going to be a time when I need that. But for the most part, like even when it's just the blue that's on here for a water bubble, I love having that texture. All right, so with the water bubbles, you'll see that I just basically took my color scheme, all my different blues, and I have glitter, regular, darker blue, you know, and the white, and I just sort of mixed it with the sizes and the different color combinations so that we get a different look, but It's, again, I know, all cohesive, right? I know, I feel like a broken record sometimes, but it just helps with the whole look and feel of your cake topper. So overall, I mean, I still used a lot of different papers on here. So I'm going to count real quick. So I've got 3, 4, 5, and then 6, 7, 8. I think I have about 10 different sheets of paper on here, but it doesn't feel, you know, so crazy. Oops. Go. And the bubbles we're kind of just going to layer on top of each other. So some of these will have foam tape behind it. But you can see, like, even though it's different with a lot of paper, it just feels very, very ocean-ish, right? And not so crazy. So yeah, I'm debating with that one. But we can always put it together. I know at the most, we're going to put it in the backmost layer. So we'll see how much of it will pop out and see how distracting it is. It needs to add or else it's got to go, right? We don't want it to distract from the whole thing. Okay. And you know, these aren't perfectly round, so it's got different, a little bit of a different shape, and also, you know, with the colors and the size, I think it really helps to make it look, I say authentic, but it feels silly to say authentic because it's paper bubbles. But it just feels more like it, you know, when not everything is so uniform. All right, so let's get this out of the way. The other thing is, you know, while we're just chit-chatting, if there's anything that you guys want to see, please let us know, because we are always looking for ideas and would love to do something that you want to see. All right, so this one's down. Oh, that one had an extra layer. Okay, so let's layer this guy up. And also, if there's anything that you want to see, not just projects, but maybe even products, would love to, you know, pull some things out and see what we can do with it. Oi! Okay. There we go. I mean, look how cute that water bubble is. And it's, you know, it's thick, right? And then as we layer these on top, it's going to really give it more like height and depth and character to the whole thing. Oops. All right, let's do this little guy and see if I like it. I probably should have done at least one of the colors to be regular. I thought it would be okay with one being so light, but I don't know, it feels too much, but we'll see. All right. So lately I feel like I've been seeing a lot on Instagram, a lot of shakers in all different themes, in all different sizes, and in different projects, so not just the cake topper. So I want to show you how to easily do it. Okay, that's a little bit off-centered, but it kind of doesn't matter because it's going to be something like this at most. Okay, let's work on the banner real quick. So you can see originally this banner was going to be against the blue, and it just didn't work for me. So let's put on some foam tape and get this going. And this paper is so pretty. Don't know if you can see. It's the foil, but in like a magenta, which I thought was kind of crazy, but with it just peeking through, it gave just enough of the brightness. I don't know. I feel like every cardstock, if you give it to me, I can find a use for it. But I'm always curious as to when they're making, like choosing the colors and the products, like what did that person have in mind? Like it would be so cool if we could pick their brains like that. Okay. This one's going to be a little lopsided, so I'm going to cut a piece. I normally don't like to do this step because I feel like the foam tape is already time consuming. So I usually don't cut smaller pieces, but with the way this is shaped, it's going to be so lopsided and it would defeat the purpose of the foam tape. So I added a little piece to this end. And I'm missing a piece of my banner. No way. Oh no, here it is. Here, oh, yep, there it is. Oh, but I'm still missing another piece. Let me see if I dropped it somewhere. I'm missing a piece right here. Oh my gosh, kill me. Because this piece goes over here and this piece goes over here. I'm missing a big chunky white piece that goes here. Every time we do a project, I end up missing a piece. I don't know what happened to it. All right, hopefully it'll appear once we like clear up this clutter. Let's do this piece right here. And we'll use the other little piece right here, even though I'll need another little piece in a minute. Cute little banner, huh? All right, and you see how like now when we covered it with white, that the magenta that peeks through is just the perfect amount. So there's no way I would have realized that. I don't know, maybe if I got better at this. I don't know. But I find that every project, there's at least one element, unless I've done it before, obviously. There's usually one element that needs to be recut for some reason. Okay, so let's peel this off and get it on, and hopefully that white piece will magically reappear. I'm gonna take another look. I don't see it anywhere. I know sometimes it depends on what I'm wearing. It can actually stick to my clothes, which I'll find, 5 hours later. All right, so let's get this little guy down. So that's gonna be there. That's so pretty, right? And look, it's like just the right pop and color. Love it. So this one now I can put on here. Oh, well, I'm still waiting for that piece. All right, bubbles, bubbles, bubbles. One last set of bubbles. So let's get this going. this going. I thought for sure I was gonna lose the little hearts that are dotting the J and the I in the gold right here. I mean, look at how small that is. But I don't lose that, I lose this gigantic piece, white piece right there. All right. I know, can you tell I'm bitter? All right, there's that piece. This, we need to take this off. And then okay, so that's all done. Let's pull this apart. Let's look at the 6 or the 16. Okay, so this little 6, can you see how thin that little piece sticking out right here is? But it's all just the little details. I love the fact that it cut. This, you know what? I think it's thick enough. I just love this gold foil. It's so pretty. And I was so happy that it cut so thin and it's giving me all the details that I need. And then it's got this little piece over here. So on this one, I'm gonna glue. I just realized I didn't put the little stopper on. Okay, so this 6 is on. So cute. All right, let's see. This one I had to cut twice because the first time I didn't cut it properly. So I think I'm just gonna use this one. And the 16 is going to go in the middle over the shaker so that the shaker, you know, we don't need a lot of the shaker to be showing to give the idea of the shaker, right? So let's put this down. I almost feel like I want to glue down, glue down the little liner, like the little extra piece, just so that it's not flopping and it doesn't rip off by accident. It's so thin that I'm having a hard time. I think what I'm gonna do is put some glue down right here, and then I'm gonna run the piece over the glue to get some glue on there. There. Okay, So the 16 is down. Let's do our seashell. So our seashell, of course, this one is just going to go straight down because it's so thin, but we'll put the glue dot on the outer layer. So on this one, I'm just going to put just enough so that it sticks. We don't need to have it run over. All right, look at how pretty that is. Love this color combo. Purple and gold, rose and gold, definitely favorites. All right, so let's get this down, and we're getting there. Okay, this is all done. Our axolotl. I had to Google how to pronounce that on top of everything else. Okay, let's get this on top of each other. So this is just an outline so that you can see the holes, the eyes, the mouth, all of that. So let's flip this over and get it to stand up a little bit. And then when I went to look on Etsy for some files to see, how, because I looked up axolotl, and of course I, know what it looks like in real life, but I couldn't imagine how to turn that into some sort of cutesy drawing. And then so I went on Etsy, I'm like, wait a minute, like it had enough listings that it, that I know it's a popular thing. I just never heard of it. You'll have to let me know in comments if it's just me. All right, so we've got that going on. The eyes. Okay, the eyes are kind of small. Let's do the other stuff. Let's get this to stand, pop up against this. And then the purple, I don't even know, like little feathers, antennas. Do you see how cute they are? Those are kind of small. I had wanted to do it in a glitter cardstock, but it was so intricate, I was worried that I would want to bang my head against the wall. So I didn't even attempt it. I did not put that on evenly. Okay, so this I'm gonna glue down because it's too thin to try to add foam dots, foam tape. Okay. It's getting so cute. Okay, so let's put these down so I can see exactly where it goes. Oops. Where are the rest of my, oh my gosh, am I losing pieces here? I may have to recut those pieces. I'm not seeing them anywhere. Give me 1 second. Oh my gosh, I'm losing pieces. Okay, so here's what's gonna happen. For those pieces that I'm missing, I'll just have to recut them afterwards, but at least you get the gist. But still, oh my gosh, how sad. All right, so we can always put that on afterwards. So this, same thing. I would layer all of this, and then the shaker is gonna go behind it. So let's work on that right now. So first thing is, let's put down this sheet like this. So this is the acetate layer. It's gonna go onto this. And then we're gonna flip it over, put the foam down, and then put the sequins in here. So let's take out our glue. So with this, make sure you get enough glue here that it goes all the way around, because this is what's gonna hold the acetate paper and keep all of your sequins and all that stuff inside. So I'm kind of, like brushing it against the paper to make sure that every part of this circle is going to keep the sequins enclosed. And I don't know if you can kind of see where the glue is, but I'm kind of spreading it just to make sure. Okay, now we're gonna put the foam tape on top like this. Or not the foam tape, I'm sorry, it's just foam. So it was a foam sheet that I cut because I wanna use kind of like thick materials, like thick sequins and stuff like that. I'm gonna do a double layer of foam. So I am going to put down on here a nice ring of glue onto my foam. So this is creating the shaker. We're creating the walls so that the sequins can be contained. Now, if you don't have like a die cut or a Cricut or something like that where you can actually cut any shape or size, then I've seen people use foam tape and just make a circle out of it, like a roll. So they use like a foam tape that's on a roll and then just lined it across like this. Okay, so we've got our first layer down, and I feel really confident that there is glue everywhere on that foam. So now I'm going to do another layer. And because I'm not putting glitter in the middle in here, I feel like the glue will be enough to hold in the big pieces. When it's glitter, you don't want the glitter to come out of your shaker and onto the cake. So you want to make sure that you have definitely, like, you've secured your pieces. Okay, so then we're going to put this piece and flip it over at the end, right? So now let's fill this up with fun stuff. I really wanted to keep it like a light blue. So in this little group, I'm probably gonna do this light one and maybe this one, and then I have some more stuff over here. So I wanna fill it up. This is like fun. Put a few of these little guys in. They're like little buttons. So cute. I have some of these, what are these? They say they're little blue butterflies, but you can see they're so small you can't even tell they're butterflies. They look like little stars. So you can see I'm just sprinkling things in, right? All right, So this from this one, let's see if I can open this up without spilling anything. Oh, I thought I had opened it before. Where is my, okay, here we go. Oh. Every video, right? I'm opening something that I thought I had opened. Hold on. Oh my gosh. And look what I found. My little white piece for the banner. Yay. It was meant to be. All right. Oh my gosh, is there another piece? Okay. So I'm gonna grab some of these. Actually, I'll put all of these. They're so cute. Let me see how much of that is filled up. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm gonna make sure it's all in. Should we put a little bit more? I know. This is what happens, because once you seal it, it's done. Okay, so I'm gonna put a little bit more. All right. It's time to close it up. Okay, so let's put this glue down on this last layer of this top layer of foam. And it's gonna go onto the backing. So the backing of this paper, I chose this glitter paper so that it's not white and bare. So you'll always see blue like the ocean, but I picked a light color so that it didn't feel to be too much, but we'll see. All right, that's closed. Yay, and it's all in there. Hip, hip, hooray. Okay, so this is down. Now it's gonna take a little bit for the glue to dry and set. So you just wanna make sure that everything is enclosed, which it is. Oh my gosh, I love it. Let's see, so on top of that, we have this. And this one, trying to think if it's, I think it's thick enough to add foam tape. Like some parts can hold it, so I'm gonna add foam tape to this. And then the fun part will be adding everything on top of it. Start decorating it. Now on the back of this is where you would put the stick, the dowel. And then I would do another layer to hide the dowel. I didn't cut that layer, so I won't be showing you that today, because I think that you know how to do that. Okay, so that's down. Let's get this piece down before I lose this piece. So happy I don't have to recut this little banner guy. And sorry, I always have to check my messages just in case it's an emergency for my daughter. All right, there we go. Okay, so seriously, this banner is so pretty, right? Just enough of the foil to shimmer and shine through. I love it. So we can put that down here. This little guy is not going to be finished, but we'll put him here. Let's see what we can. So I'm thinking something like this. We can put this down now. So let's get the name on there. And then we'll put the number in the middle, and that will break up the blue. So you'll have the shaker, the water effect behind it, but it doesn't need to be front and center because we've got the 16 in there. Okay, so let's flip this over and put this down. So pretty. All right, so that's gonna be right here. Now on this one, I think, okay, so let's put some foam tape down here so that it will stick up. But on this one, because it's such a big piece, I'm gonna wanna put a little bit of my glue gun to make sure that it sticks to this thing. And I'm just gonna hold it for a little bit for it to dry before I remove, so that I know it's down. Okay. Then I wanted this little guy over here like this. So maybe this one can even have a little bit of depth right there. And then we'll add the glue gun again to that piece to make sure that it can stay on. Maybe something like that. Okay. Oh, my glue gun tripped. So you see, as I held it up for it to dry, it rebalanced itself and is now sticking up. So actually, I'm gonna put this up to see if I need to add any more glue to this thing to make sure. Oh no! Oh no! My layers didn't dry and I started moving it. Okay, so let it dry because the glue did not set yet. Oh man. It happens to the best of us. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, let's look at this. Let's see how I can fix this. I'm gonna take, so this is gonna happen, and I knew it. I didn't glue it well enough. I didn't let it sit. So let's punch it in so that it goes in. And then what we can do is I can pour some of this stuff back in, which it still has a lot in there. So I'm not too concerned about that because we did put in a lot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my glue gun and I'm gonna just seal it. I'm gonna seal it all the way around. And then once this side is sealed, we'll flip it down and we'll seal the top side. So let's start doing that. And that's what's nice about these shakers is if you design it like the way we did, where our top layer is basically, it covers all of our faults, right? Like you don't see any of the foam, you don't see any of that. So let me get more of the glue gun. And I always joke around, like on my YouTube tutorials, mistakes are gonna happen. So if I edit it out and this happens to you, you wouldn't know what to do. So it's a good thing as much as like it shocks me, it's a good thing that it happens because now you know how to fix it. So, okay, we've got the glue gun in. I'm gonna continue putting, like basically filling the hole, right? That was too funny. I'm like, wait a minute. All right, we're almost there. I'm just gonna glue and fill up this hole down here. And I sort of feel like I'm doing home repair. Filling up the hole. All right. And once this dries, which we have to let it dry because I don't want to fix this again. But once it dries, what we can do is I'll know that it is really stable and strong because it's, you know, a hot glue gun. We can fill it up from the top a little bit better, a little bit more. All right. Okay, so that's in. We're gonna let that dry. I'm gonna move this aside. We can, in the meantime, put the 1 and the 6 down. So I want the 16 to be centered with the name. So on this one, again, let's put foam tape down. And then that way, everything else, the bubbles and whatever that we're gonna try to center will be a little bit further out to give it more space, but that our 16 and the name Jackie is going to be centered. So that we want. And on this one, because it's in the middle too, I want to make sure to add a little bit of the glue gun so that it does not go anywhere. Okay, there's our 1. Let's get our 6 down. So every time mistakes happen, like this one, and another time that I did a shaker, I would get these comments from people that would say, we saw that coming, like something else that I had done earlier in the tape while I was talking and I didn't notice that there were red flags. So it's always, I'll be curious to see if you guys called this happening. All right, so let's get this 6 down. Same thing, I'm gonna add a little bit of the glue gun here. Okay. Flip it over, get this down. Okay. I'm gonna touch the glue gun a little bit. Okay. Looks like, and I'm gonna just get rid of the glue strings. Okay, I'm going to make sure that I am covered at least halfway. So I'm moving up the chain here. And then I'm gonna leave a little hole where we can fill in more sequins or more stuff. And then same thing on this side. Okay, so you can kind of see I'm filling it up. This part opened up right here, and then this part is filled up to right here. So I can add a little bit more in here. Just gonna get rid of the glue drippings. Okay, so I think the easiest one to do will be this one. And I'm gonna cut this open. All right. I'm gonna close it there. So now we just got to get the glue all the way around to close this up. So let's start. I'm going to hold it like this so you can kind of see what's going on here. It opened up. So let's just fill in our gaps and kind of hold and press at the same time so that it dries this way. Refill my stick. Almost there. Okay. I'm just going to lay it down. Let gravity take over a little bit. Make sure it's pressed and dry this time before we start messing with it. I know I get so impatient. I'm the same way when it comes to heat transfer vinyl. I don't know if you guys do that at all, where you personalize your shirts and whatever. It will say like, you know, it needs to be a warm or cold peel, and mine's like super hot and I'm ready to peel it off. Okay. I think that's pretty good. I'm gonna get just a little bit of glue down here just to make sure. But it feels pretty good. All right, so that's down. Let's start looking at this little guy. So I want this little guy to be on this side like this. Maybe even like this a little bit. And then let's start adding the bubbles. See, almost like that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave this little guy out. And once we have the pretty purple like in here, that will fill up a little bit of color. Or maybe, is that too much? Maybe something like that. So just a little, oh, you know, but then I feel like it should be on, should it be on this side? So look at how little that is showing. But I feel like that looks good. And then this one over here like this. And then our numbers down. I think that's good. So you see, I wanted to show you that whole practice of like moving things around. My background did not include the placement of the bubbles. That way I can kind of make changes on the fly to see what looks good with the different colors so that we can still mix things up So I feel like this is perfect. So glue that down, and then with the wooden dowel, I'm going to take this off for now because I want to show you the wooden dowel, and then we'll get going. Okay, so I have to test this out, right? To show you that this time it is sealed. It's sealed. Okay, flip it over. We know that the banner is straight. So I always like to put it on my grid here. So if my banner is straight, then my dowel will go down a straight line like this so that I know my dowel will be straight with my banner. So keep it like this. I would glue it down, and then I would put another layer on top, and you'll have your cake topper. All right, there are so many pieces missing, so I'm not going to glue it down just yet. And I will see you next time, but let's enjoy this one more time and talk about how we fixed it. We got back up. All right, I will see you guys next time. Let us know if you have any questions, what you want to see, products you want to see, all of that, because we want to, make this as fun and as informative as possible. Bye.